Dear tree folk, thank you for allowing me to be even a tiny part of this conversation. I've continued to be fascinated by the points you've made in your letters and by the discussion they've inspired in the growing body of viewers who also like to think and reflect on their own lives. And I owe you a greater debt of thanks. I thank you, all of you, but in particular you, Zainab, for helping me to wake up. You see, I'm a little bit broken. I'd like to counter the statement you made in your first letter, Zay, that everyone is awesome, with the belief that everyone is also a little bit broken. Some more so, some less so, but everyone has struggles. Everyone has problems that they have to deal with and which never quite go away. As for me, however, I've spent the last year trying to convince myself that I'm fine. Fine, whilst my concentration levels have dropped, whilst my moods have become lower and lower, whilst my motivation and will to carry on has been lost to me entirely. Fine. Somewhere on my journeys to and from school, I've lost the drive I had, the inspiration I gathered from the little sources all around me, from YouTube, from my faith and from my family. My brain has stopped soaking up motivation and understanding and thoughtfulness, and has instead filled up with, well, cotton wool by the feel of it. Cotton wool and emptiness. Something you mentioned in your first letter, Liz, was constantly being around yourself, hanging out with yourself 24/7 until you became fed up of it. Pink writes in her hit single Don't Let Me Get Me the words, "Doctor, doctor, please prescribe me something, a day in the life of someone else," and was reflecting on these words that I finally realised this is what I'd come to. I didn't want to spend time with myself. Then I realised that maybe it was time to admit that something was wrong. Undiagnosed I remain, but I've now been to the doctor and am on the way to finding help and explanation for my problematic brain. A simple lesson, as you've said, Liz, that was being repeated to me by everyone who cared about me, but one I took over a year to listen to. We deserve help. We need the people around us. We need their advice and support. Your gratitude to your mother, Liz, reminded me of mine, my mother who eventually forced me into a doctor's office and who has never ceased to be there for me. And your conversation about friendship, reliance on others and motivation has taught me to value the exceptional friends I've been given, the people I was too proud to turn to because I was convinced that I could fix myself, the people who picked me up when I fell down. Because as Maya said, I'm beginning to realise that my failure this past year is not the end of the line. I can begin again, given the power to do so. My question to you is this: what gives you the strength to stand up when you've slipped? What wakes you up to realise that you're being stubborn and refusing to see that you need help, need to reach out to the people around you? And my gratitude to you, tree friends, is vast. Thank you for being so open about your dips in drive and your failures to achieve everything all at once. Thank you for giving me the time to get to know you, Zainab, and for being such a brilliant friend. Thank you, all of you, for reminding me that I need to get up again. I've lived with an undiagnosed mental illness for over a year, and that's going to change. I challenge you to attack whatever holes you may have fallen into also, and to allow the people who love you to give you the ladders to climb out of them. Don't go it alone.